Today we're going to talk about point-slope form of linear equations. Our objectives are to create equations of lines in both slope-intercept form and point-slope form. Slope is the rise over the run. Remember, the rise is your change or difference in the vertical, in the y-axis, and your run is the change or difference in the x-axis, the horizontal. So difference means subtraction in mathematics. So when we say change, we mean you're subtracting y minus y over x minus x. Slope-intercept form is an equation, y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. There's also something called standard form. Standard form is in the form ax plus by is equal to c, where a, b, and c are numbers and x and y are simply the variables. Find the slope of the line that contains each pair of points. So we have 2 points, and we know that the formula for slope is y minus y over x minus x. When starting this, always label your points x comma y, x comma y. Then we simply subtract the two y's. 5 minus 1 over 2 minus 3. And because I started with a 5, I have to start with a 2 in the x's. That gives us 5 minus 1 is 4 over negative 1. Now remember, you can never leave a negative on the bottom. That gives you a negative 4. Do I need to put the 1 on the bottom? Nope. Our answer is negative 4. You're going to see some problems that ask you to plot the intercepts to graph the equation. Now the easiest way by far is to simply just put it into slope-intercept form and graph like you already know how to. In order to get the y all by itself, we need to do PEMDAS backwards. So we subtract the 8x to the other side, cancels out, and gives you negative 4y is equal to negative 8x minus 8. Now in order to get the y all by itself, I do the opposite of multiplying, which is dividing. I divide by negative 4, and what I do to one side, I do to all of the other side, negative 4 and negative 4. That gives me y is equal to negative divided by negative is a positive 2x plus 2. Our slope is 2 over that invisible 1, and our y-intercept is equal to 2. We plot the 2, and our slope is rise over run. So I'm rising 2 and running 1. Rising 1, 2, running 1. Rising 1, 2, running 1. And remember, we can go the opposite. If I went up and to the right, the opposite would be down and to the left. So right there, I found my intercept. Now, simply draw a line, and it should look something like that. Now, here's the formula for point-slope form. Point-slope form is y minus y is equal to m x minus x. The colorful x and y's, the green y1 and the blue x1, those are actual numbers. So when we have our real problems, those will be numbers. The m still stands for slope. Note, remember, switch the signs. Remember those rebellious numbers. When they're coming out of the house, they're going to be the opposite sign. So if I have a positive x as a point, when he goes into our problem, he's going to be a negative x. And if I have a positive y, he's going to become a negative y. Always switch the signs. The instructions here are to write an equation in point-slope form for the line with the given slope that contains the given point. So they gave me the slope right here, and they gave me an x value and a y value. Point slope is y minus y is equal to m x minus x. So that gives me y minus, the y value was a positive 1, so now he becomes a negative 1, equals m is 1/6, parenthesis, x minus x. X minus, that was a positive 5, now he is a negative 5. We leave the answer just like that. That is point-slope form. Now this problem wants in slope-intercept form. In the last video, we talked about how to take a point in a slope and create slope-intercept form. Here, we're going to use point-slope form to help us find slope-intercept form. We set it up the same way. Y minus y is equal to m x minus x. Remember though, my goal is to get it into slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. But first things first, I have my slope, which is 1/3. I have my x value, which is -3. And then I have my y value, which is 1. Just fill things in. Y minus 1 is equal to 1/3 x minus -3. Notice there's two negatives there, so they become a positive. Now we simplify, basically solve for that y. Before I can do that, I need to distribute the 1/3 into the x and the 1/3 times the 3. That gives me y minus 1 is equal to 1/3 times x is 1/3 x. 1/3 times 3 is 1. And we said two negatives gave me a positive. Now, in order to get the y by itself, I need to add 1 to the other side. That gives me y is equal to 1/3 x plus 2, which is in my slope-intercept form. Here they want us to write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line crossing through the 2 points. They didn't give me a slope, so I need to find a slope first. We know that slope is equal to y minus y over x minus x. Whenever we have points like this, we always label our points. X comma y, x comma y. Now I just plug it in. -3 minus 1 over 2 minus 4. That gives me -4 over -2. Negative divided by a negative cancels, and 4 divided by 2 gives me 2. So I know that my slope is 2. Now I can use either the first point or I can use the second point, whatever we want. I'm going to go ahead and use the second point because they're all positive. Plug it into our point slope form. Y minus y is equal to m x minus x. I have my m as 2, my x as 4, and my y as 1. Now, here again, they wanted it in slope-intercept form, so I need to solve for y. First thing I need to do is distribute the 2 to the x and distribute the 2 to the -4. Y minus 1 is equal to 2x minus 8. Add the 1 to the other side. Y is equal to 2x minus 7. Now I'm in slope-intercept form, which was y equals mx plus b. One more example. First things first, I have to solve for m. Our slope is y minus y over x minus x. In order to do that, I always label so I don't make silly mistakes. Now I plug in the numbers. 1 minus 9 over 0 minus a -2. 0 minus a -2. Remember, it's always subtraction. They gave us another negative, so we have two negatives. Two negatives make a positive, and that gives me -8 over 2, which is simply -4. So my slope is equal to -4. Now I'm going to solve this two ways. We're going to use point slope form, and then I'll show you slope intercept form also. To put it into slope intercept form by point slope form, first what we'll do is write it down. Y minus y is equal to m x minus x. I'm going to use the first one because it has a 0 and a 1, easiest numbers I can find. That gives me y minus 1 is equal to -4 parenthesis x minus 0. Distribute the 4 through. Y minus 1 is equal to -4x plus 0. I don't have to write that. Now, in order to get the 1 to go the other side, I add 1 to both sides. Y is equal to -4x plus 1. That is my slope-intercept form. The other way of doing this would be to plug it into slope-intercept form to begin with. So I know that's y equals mx plus b. I have an m of a -4. I have an x that is a 0 plus b, our missing variable. Y is 1. So what I did is I plugged in 1 for the y, plugged in 0 for the x, and -4 for the m, in order to solve the missing term, which is our y-intercept, the b. That would give me 4 times 0 is 0, b is equal to 1. Now I can solve for slope-intercept form. Y equals -4 x plus our b, which we found to be 1. So we can use point-slope form and simply solve down, or we can use slope-intercept form, find the missing b, and then plug the numbers back in. Both are accurate, both will give you the right answer, whichever way is easier for you.